You open the fridge. You stare at it for 10 seconds. Nothing looks good. You close it again. This happens almost every day, and you barely notice it. But the real answer to why you do this is far stranger than boredom or bad luck. It goes back 3 million years to a body that was never built for a fridge at all. Your ancestors did not eat 3 meals a day. They did not snack. They did not know where their next meal was coming from, or if there would be one. Food was not a choice. It was a hunt, a gamble, a puzzle solved with a sharpened rock and a lot of walking. So what did they actually eat? Not steak, not mammoth burgers, not the caveman diet you have seen marketed on a supplement bottle. The truth is messier and far more interesting. Start with the plants. For most of human evolution, plants made up the bulk of the diet. Roots, tubers, wild greens, nuts that had to be cracked open with stones. Anthropologist Richard Wrangham has spent decades studying this, and his research points to something surprising. Early humans were not apex predators feasting on meat every night. They were opportunists, eating whatever the land gave them, and the land mostly gave them plants. Here is the twist. Raw plants are hard to digest. Wild tubers are fibrous and bitter. Nuts are locked behind shells. Your ancestors did not have the jaw of a gorilla, built to grind through raw fiber for hours. So they needed a trick. That trick was fire. When you crave sugar, fat, or salt, you are not being weak. You are running ancient software. Sugar meant ripe fruit, a rare and valuable calorie spike. Fat meant marrow, meant survival through a lean season. Salt meant minerals your body could not make on its own. In a world of scarcity, craving these things kept you alive. In a world of convenience stores, that same craving can work against you. Psychologist Daniel Lieberman, who studies the evolution of the human body, has pointed out something that sounds almost funny until you sit with it. Your body is optimized for a world that no longer exists. It stores fat efficiently because storing fat used to mean surviving winter. It craves calorie-dense food because calorie-dense food used to be rare. None of that programming updated when the grocery store showed up. So when you stand in front of an open fridge, unsatisfied by 3 different snacks, you are not malfunctioning. You are a hunter-gatherer standing in an environment your brain has no evolutionary memory of. Abundance. Constant, reliable, boring abundance. There is another piece of this puzzle, and it involves your gut, not your brain. Ancient human diets were wildly varied. Depending on the season, your ancestors might eat over 100 different plant species in a single year, along with insects, shellfish, birds' eggs, and whatever meat came their way. That variety fed an enormous range of gut bacteria. Modern diets, by comparison, are strangely narrow. A small handful of crops make up most of what humans eat globally today. This shift did not happen because humans got worse at finding food. It happened because farming, starting around 10,000 years ago, made food more reliable but far less diverse. Grain could be stored. Grain could be predicted. But grain could not replace the sheer variety that once fed the human gut, and, some researchers argue, the human mind as well. Which means the modern discomfort of "nothing sounds good" might not just be boredom. It might be an old biological signal tuned for variety, going off in a world of sameness. None of this means you need to eat roots and marrow tonight. That is not the point. The point is that your appetite is not random. It is not a flaw in your willpower. It is a message from a body that spent 3 million years learning exactly what kept it alive, long before anyone wrote the rules down. Every craving is a fossil. Every open fridge is a small, quiet echo of a hunt that never quite ends. So tonight, when you open that fridge and nothing looks good, you are not failing at anything. You are standing at the edge of a habit older than agriculture, older than fire, older than language itself. And somewhere underneath the hunger, there is still a hunter, waiting for something worth the walk. Wrangham's cooking hypothesis argues that the discovery of cooking changed everything about the human diet and about the human body. Cooked food is softer. Cooked food releases more calories. Cooked starches turn into something the gut can absorb almost instantly. A single roasted root delivered more usable energy than the same root eaten raw. And that extra energy had somewhere to go. It went to your brain. The human brain uses about 20% of your daily energy, despite being a small fraction of your body weight. No other primate spends that much fuel on thinking. Cooking may be one of the reasons that was even possible. More digestible food, more spare calories, more fuel for a brain that kept getting hungrier for complexity. But plants alone did not build the modern human skull. Meat mattered too, just not the way you might picture it. Think less hunter with a spear and more opportunist with a rock. Long before humans hunted large animals with any real skill, they scavenged. They followed lions and hyenas, waited for a kill, and then rushed in when the predators moved off. What they wanted was not the meat everyone else wanted. It was the bone marrow and the brain. Marrow is fat, dense, calorie-rich fat, locked inside bone that most predators cannot crack. Early humans could crack it, with a rock and patience. Paleoanthropologist Henry Bunn has studied cut marks and percussion marks on ancient animal bones for years, and his findings suggest that early hominins were accessing marrow long before they were reliably hunting big game themselves. That fat was not a luxury. It was the missing piece. Plants gave energy for digestion. Marrow gave concentrated fat for brain growth. Fire made both easier to absorb. Put those three things together over hundreds of thousands of years, and you get a brain that triples in size. You get curiosity. You get language. You get you. Now, here is where it gets strange. Your ancestors were not eating for pleasure. They were eating for survival in an environment where food was unpredictable. A good week might mean a kill, a beehive found, a tree heavy with fruit. A bad week might mean roots and nothing else. Or worse, nothing at all. Feast and famine were not metaphors. They were the actual rhythm of life. Your body still remembers that rhythm. It just does not know the famine part is over. This is where your fridge comes back in.